Let's go to the Cowboys preseason game. So the Rams defeat the Cowboys 13-12. The score really doesn't matter, even though Stetson Bennett scored that touchdown on 4th and goal with 4 seconds left. Right after.
How about that throw though? After a series of bad ones by that quarterback by the Rams, that was as funky a little sidearm. I don't know what you call it, but it was a hell of a throw to win a ball game.
Yeah, and obviously the Rams played their 3rd-string quarterback. No Matt Stafford, no Jimmy Garoppolo. So it is for what it is. But the good, the bad, the ugly when it comes to the Cowboys. For me, I thought the good was there was a lot of good in the game, even though it wasn't the most clean game in the world. DeMarvion overshone Mozzie Smith showed me something yesterday, though. And we've been talking about DeMarvion since last year, and we thought he was going to play a significant role last year, and then he tore his ACL, and now he's back with a vengeance. He had that tackle for a loss in the first quarter. He was flying all over the field. Number 13 is all over.
Love that guy. Got a great motor, proving it. I think Cowboy fans should be encouraged by the Zimmer addition because they got 4 interceptions, which means the guys are put in the right place. And I think Bell had one of those interceptions. Mm-hmm. He also had 9 tackles. I think he played well. Is it Proper, the receiver?
Yeah, Cropper.
Yeah. I think he was as good as anybody on the offense, which wasn't great. I want to be impressed by Trey Lance because I'm in that.
We're going to get to Trey in a second.
I'm in that camp that maybe they should move on from Dak. I don't know about that now.
We can talk about Trey in a second. Chuck, what'd you like? What was the good for you yesterday?
I thought 88 for the Rams was pretty damn good.
Jordan Whittington, he was all over the field.
Yeah, 7 catches, 60-something yards.
Elite hair too.
He does, no question.
Cuero Gobbler.
I think the fascinating thing about him was, why did he go so late in the draft? Because, he moves different than most guys. And I guess it's a matter just for him staying healthy. But, I'm still trying to get a read on what I kind of value in terms of watching what Trey Lance did in the game yesterday. 25 of 41, right, or something like that, throwing it. That's not horrible. He didn't turn it over, so that's a positive. But there's still too much of ... instead of ... He just takes a long time to be able to make a decision with where to go with the football, which were some of the things I think we noticed during OTAs and minicamp. So I think it's a process, right? And we got to have some grace. Probably the most football the guy's played in a year. So there were some moments that he had where he looked okay. There were some other moments where you're going, okay, this is still very much a work in progress. And I think for Cowboy fans, this is also, hopefully your epiphany that the guy that you got back there is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Insignificant.
You don't want to have anything happen to him.
As insignificant as the score is in a preseason game, the Cowboys should have won this game because Trey Lance overthrew 3 touchdowns. And it's just his timing, to your point, looks awful. He looks lost sometimes with what his reads are. Is it A to B to C, or where's my A actually at? If his A is closed, then he goes to D instead of to B and C. His reads are off. To McCarthy's point, which we'll hear in a second, they're trying to teach him almost from scratch is what it sounds like. They're trying to teach him, this is the footwork we need you to do. These are the mechanics we need you to have. And a year in, it doesn't look like he's exactly where they want him to be. So for me, my bad for the good, the bad, the ugly is Trey Lance. I was not impressed with him.
It's not like he's a rookie, too. He's been in the league a while.
Yeah, this is his 4th year in the league.
I think this goes back to, he played a limited number of games in college. The kid hasn't played a lot of football, but he shows you flashes. Things break down. He had maybe some guys open. He didn't get rid of the ball and try to find a receiver, but he still has the ability. He's got some scat in him. He's able to take off and run with the football.
That's really good for a running
almost
back.
50 yards. Correct. But he kept some drives alive. Again, it's one preseason game, and everything that you're saying, I'm not saying I disagree with you.
Yeah.
But I feel like there was at least some progress made yesterday with what I saw.
Bob, for 1 second, let's get to Coach Mike McCarthy. This is responding to a question from Todd Archer asking about the overthrows from Trey Lance.
Yeah, it's I think these are things that we need to work on, and frankly, I probably went more drop back than I may normally in that type of game. So, but yeah, I'm trying to get as much as I can with him. well, we want to see him run the offense and at a high level. And yeah, but the footwork and some of the things we're asking him to do conceptually, they're new. So we just need work. We just need as much time as we can. I know I said it every time I talk about him, but he's making good progress. He's definitely wired the right way. He's a great athlete. We just have a lot of work to do.
Definitely have a lot of work to do. I mean, like I said, I personally am of the belief that Trey Lance will never be a starting NFL quarterback. I don't know if I've seen enough to make him a top 16 backup quarterback, though, to this point. Like, we just haven't seen enough good from him to warrant any talk that he can take over as a starting quarterback for somebody.
That's fair.
The Niners saw enough of him to pick him, 5th overall?
Yeah, and it might go down as one of the worst draft picks, worst draft day trades of all time.
Could be.
I mean, immediately, and Kyle Shanahan has said this on the record, like immediately when they all got into camp, he went over to John Lynch and was like, our third guy might be our best quarterback.
Talking about
Brock Purdy. And that's with Pundy.
Yes.
And that's with Trey Lance there. And I think that was with Jimmy G there as well. Like, he knew right away that Trey Lance did not have it.
Right.
And yet the Cowboys give up a 4th-round pick for him. And now they're probably going to be without him after this season unless they give him pennies on the dollar, which, I mean, if you want to keep him for pennies on the dollar after the season, then go right ahead. But another good thing I saw, Tyler Guyton obviously came in. And my good goes along with the ugly, which was the injury to Chuma Edoga. Obviously, you don't want to see injuries in the game. Don't know if Chuma Edoga is going to be injured for a while, have the severity of that injury yet, really. But Tyler Guyton filling in at left tackle, I think they found their left tackle of the future. I really do. He's a big, strong man. And if he's
been dominating Parsons in camp.
Yeah, I mean, he's been extremely impressive. And I think he didn't start because he was coming off that virus from last week. He sat out a couple days of practice. He was sick. But get that guy, barring health, he's going to be a really good left tackle in this
Likeable kid, too. Zach set him down. That was fun. Texas kid. Loves Manu Ginobili.
What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, everything that the reports are, and when you have a guy like Tyler Smith saying he's further along than I was, and we all know how far along Tyler Smith was when he stepped on the playing field. So, I mean, looks like they hit a home run with that one for sure.
Yeah, I don't want to disparage like preseason games because I saw Cooper Beebe's family, all those tweets yesterday about their mom and dad in the jersey and tweeting out when their son gets into the game, like the family aspect of all of these kids finally getting to suit up in a Cowboy uniform for the first time under the big lights. And that was awesome. But like, I don't know how good Cooper's going to be a center. Brock Hoffman played pretty well. The offensive line is going to be a huge, huge question mark this entire season.
They have a series of them, right? There's a lot of boxes that are going to need answers one way or the other. And, I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago. The Texans were in a similar boat last year with a ton of question marks, and they checked almost every one of them off as the season went along. And I don't know, it'll be fascinating to see because I have a feeling we're not going to see a lot of what the Cowboys are until week 1.
Yeah.
True.
And I think this season might come down to health because if you lose Chuma Edoga and you put Tyler Guyton in there, okay, now you don't have that swing tackle anywhere with Chuma Edoga out. I mean, if you lose DeMarvion Overshown, who's going to fill in there? Like, they don't have a lot of depth to this team. So they're very top-heavy, and they need these rookies to step up. But if any of them get hurt, I don't know who's going to fill in for them on the back end. It's gonna come down to who's healthy and who's not.
Cooper Rush is your man.
God. I continue to come back to the point that they do not have a quarterback on the depth chart with a longer than 1-year contract right now. Like, every single quarterback on their depth chart is
or a head coach
or head coach or defensive coordinator.
Right.
This is it.
Yep.
So
all in.
Bob, anything?
Certainly
I was
all
just
in.
curious how the Broncos looked. Did they anything?
Thank you so much for asking.
Did anything pop in that game?
I haven't said the words Bo Nix in 31 minutes now. So Bo Nix is going to be
Jordan $5.
Did she actually? Bo Nix played so well yesterday. If they give Jarrett Stidham any time with the ones throughout the rest of camp, they are fooling themselves. He's going to start week 1. He's going to beat the Chiefs. He's going to take us back to the
Chiefs.
He's going to beat the Chiefs. He's going to take us back to the promised land. Bo Nix season, here we come. All right.
I love it.
I am all in on Bo Nix. I'm trying to come up with nicknames now for Bo Nix because Nix is so good for nicknames. So I forgot the ones I already said to Jordan last night, but anyway. Did she?
That's all we had.
That's all we had. All right, cool. Well, at least we got that in.
Do we know how Rashad Wisdom played in the?
I actually was. I didn't look. I wanted to go look because Cephas played for the Jags too. I wanted to go check both of them out.
Yeah, I didn't see their box score, but we had a few San Antonians in that Colts Broncos game, and Jalen Jones had a tackle. Didn't play very long, but he started. Looks like he's going to start
Josh
during the
Reynolds.
regular year. Josh had one catch for 11 yards, but
He had a bad drop in the back of the end zone
that was a pretty nice ball. It looked like that was thrown his way.
from Bonix.
And Elijah Garcia from Stevens High School had a really nice bowed his back goal line stand tackle for his only dot into the box score.
Yeah, they just the Broncos just lost a Texas alum too, Caden Stearns. They just dropped Caden Stearns off.
Yeah.
So that stinks for him.
You think he's done?
He might be.
He
Might be done for now. I mean, because the
He got cut.
Panthers
Then he
picked
got
him
cut.
up, and
Yeah.
then they cut him too. He failed his physical.
He failed his physical.
I mean, it sucks, right? I mean, here we
Yeah,
are
all
with a
the
guy with
talent
an
in the
injury,
world.
and yep. Well, I mean, hopefully he can come back from the injury. He just doesn't look like he's ready to come back from it right this moment. So yeah, I mean, we're pulling for him, obviously.
So to summarize, Bo Nix is the best. All right, so that's all we got for
Okay, that's all we got. We'll
That's
see
all we
you
got.
later.
That's all we got for.
Tom Guerrero's in the house.
Shout out Tom Guerrero.
Shout out Tom Guerrero.
That's all we got for on Sneakers and Cleats podcast today. Remember, download, rate, review, subscribe, give us a 5-star rating, tell a friend, tell an enemy. We'll see you on Thursday.